I'm not known as a guy who gets hand cramps when I'm writing checks.
All right, so here's my quick thoughts on CeeDee Lamb holdout or possible holdout. Now, granted, the Dallas Cowboys, this is a model. This is the way that they like to do business. They like to make it whereas deadline make deals. We all know that. We've been dealing with this for a long time with the Joneses. They don't like to pay people early. They like to allow the leaves to fall, right? And CeeDee Lamb coming off of his best season. Now, this would be a different story if he was coming off of his worst season, but this is his best season. Now, this is Mike McCarthy's second season calling plays. It took all the way up into week 6 or 7 until we saw like CeeDee Lamb got comfortable with the play calling of Mike McCarthy. It takes time to get in rhythm, right? So when you read articles like how would a CeeDee Lamb holdout impact the Cowboys offense, I would tell you without even reading it, it would be a situation and scenario that it may not affect it that much because of the fact that CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott been on the same page when they are playing in the regular season. It's just the postseason we've been seeing the lack of CeeDee Lamb, like the lack of getting CeeDee Lamb the ball.
I want to see the best players touch the ball early so they can break a sweat. They can get into the flow of the game. And good coaches do that. When you script plays at the beginning of the game, you're saying, okay, you're the Niners coach. I'm going to make sure McCaffrey touches it either first or second in the game. I want to make sure Deebo Samuel touches it first or second in the game. I'm going to throw it to him quick. Somehow I know the ball is going to be in his hands so he can do something with it. I want to get him into the flow. So we would always try to script so that everybody would feel like they were in the flow of the game. The last thing you want is your number one receiver to go 2.5 quarters into a game and not see a ball.
Listening in to what Tom Brady said when he was talking to Colin Cowherd, when you got star-studded players like a CeeDee Lamb, you want to get him comfortable within the confines of the system. You want to get him the ball early. You don't want to wait too long. And what you really want to do is put him on end arounds, get him in motion, right? Figure out a way to get him the ball. And those are things as it relates to CeeDee Lamb in general. But overall, when you look at the history of the wide receivers of the Dallas Cowboys, we can go to Tony Hill, Drew Pearsons. We can talk about Michael Irvin. We can talk about the Antonio Bryant. We can talk about Terrell Owens, Dez Bryant. Nobody in the history of the Cowboys at wide receiver put up the kinds of calibers of numbers in the first 4 years of AC Dangerous Lamb. So we as fans, we can see that, hey, pay the man. Let's get this thing moving. Why put his feet to the fire? Figure out ways. Now, granted, we can use the argument and say, well, it's his side of the bargain. It's his agents that's holding it up. Oh, it's waiting for the leaves to fall because we had to see what Justin Jefferson was going to get. And now we're waiting for another leaf to fall out of Ja'Marr Chase, right? We can talk about those particular things. But at the end of the day, I just wish that the Cowboys look at it from this perspective. That CeeDee Lamb is our Ja'Marr Chase, right? CeeDee Lamb is our Justin Jefferson, right? We always compare to say these type of things, that he's not X, Y, and Z. Well, for our team, he's our version of a Deebo Samuel, right? So there's so many ways where we can look at this and say, all right, let's just pay our guys and keep it moving. You say that you like our guys. Well, hey, pay your guys, not waiting. Anybody that's watching right now, ladies and gentlemen, those who watching, if your employee says, hey, we would like to pay you Friday, but what we're going to do is wait 2 more weeks from now, you still going to be mad. You're going to say to yourself, hey, why you got to push my payment back, right? Pay me on Friday, just like everyone else. For those who get paid early, they looking at it like, shoot, oh my goodness, I got my check now. So they come in Friday. Let's say you get paid Thursday. They come in Friday with donuts, coffee, and everything, right? The same principles applies. When you get paid early, the morale lifts. And then on top of that, the people that you can foresee that probably looking up to you, look at it like, man, there's an opportunity and a chance that if I work my tail off, I'm going to get paid. Now, granted, CeeDee Lamb may get paid before the start of preseason or for the start of the regular season. But all of this extra stuff is not necessary, right? But I get it. You know, you want to make news, you want to break news and these sorts of things and hold off on paying the guy. But I'm going to say again, Cowboy Nation, stop playing with fire, pay your players and get this on and going, because when you look at everything going into this contract year of a CeeDee, of a Micah Parsons, of a Dak Prescott, other players are watching and they are taking account for all of the things that you are doing to those star-studded players. And now they're saying, hell, what are the incentives for me to work out, you know, to the best capabilities? If they're holding them to the fire, what they going to do to me? So I think that the philosophy and the principle of the Jones family on how they like to wait for deadlines to make deals is an archaic move, right? And the philosophy of waiting for the leaves to fall is an archaic move. I get it. A lot of us is bitter, angry, and upset, and they have a keen philosophy of having you guys to agree with them, meaning that now all of a sudden you guys are saying to yourself, hey, these players are selfish, these players are greedy, let's lean on trusting the billionaires. You guys are picking the billionaire side of this particular war, and it's crazy. I can't make this stuff up. And then you guys are also utilizing and using playoffs as the excuse. Ultimately, you're saying that, hey, you guys see, you know, it's because they haven't won playoff games. A clip that I played, that clip was way back in 2019.
Let me just say this. I think all of us, including the fans, want to win a damn football game. Okay? Now, I know we've got a lot of other things to think about. Who's coaching, who's playing, who's compared to another player someplace else. How about let's win some ball games, folks? We can take that other stuff. I'm not known as a guy who gets hand cramps when I'm writing checks, but I want to win some football games.
And it still applies to this day. Well, newsflash, if you build up your morale, if you build up your team the proper way, you wouldn't have to have these type of inter-wars within the confines of your players holding out. Yeah, but that's a story of a different day. Look, you guys, I get it. The players haven't been successful in the last 28 years, but I don't know any of these guys that have been here that long. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go.